talking about problems that get solved with Alvys TMS. One of those is document management. So for example, without Alvys, invoicing can be delayed and cash flow can suffer because of manual processes. For example, when a BOL or a POD gets uploaded via email or even another digital app, the matching and the reconciliation of those PODs to a load is still mostly a manual process, and that just wastes time. So with Alvys, the driver has the mobile app, so they can upload the PODs at the load that she just delivered. So now the accounting person or the billing person doesn't need to match a bunch of paperwork to the correct load. So time is saved. Invoicing happens more quickly, drivers get paid more quickly, and the cash flow overall is very much improved. Another thing that is annoying for trucking companies is having to switch between a bunch of different tabs or applications or logins in order to bring a load through its lifecycle. With Alvys, we developed the tech with the end user in mind. It was created for trucking company owners by trucking company owners, and we wanted you to be able to bring the load all the way through its lifecycle with just one login, with just one window. It's one thing to have a bunch of features, but being able to execute the necessary task in just one window is another thing. And I think we underestimate how much more efficient we get when it's one platform where we're doing everything, including billing and accounting. All of that is in one place. It makes us a lot faster and helps us avoid headaches. A common problem in trucking is trying to quote spot market loads well. In Alvys, we have solved this problem by giving you all of the data you need to make that decision instantaneously. So what happens with spot market loads is that there are so many variables to consider. And if you're having to pull that data from a bunch of different places, it's going to slow you down. So you might actually miss that load altogether because it takes you too long, or because you're trying to move too fast, your team or you may quote the load poorly and then you lose your margin. So with Alvys, we're bringing together data that helps you make a quick decision, like the historical rates in Alvys, third-party information, the historic and current load volume at the lane level, and also the supply of trucks at each lane. So you can see all of these different variables at one time so that you and the team can quote these loads really well and ensure the margin that you need. So it's saving you time, allowing you to make better decisions so that you can improve your margins and overall book better loads more quickly. So let's say my compliance fails or I miss an expiration date. Alvys has automatic alerts for safety audits or any potential issues before they arise. You can keep track of all required documents and inspections in one place in Alvys so that you pass those audits easily and remain compliant with DOT. So for example, let's say I'm a truck driver. I'm working really hard. The last thing on my mind is updating my medical card and taking some required drug tests. Alvys is going to send both me, the truck driver, and also my dispatcher notifications long before these things are due so that I can stay on top of them more easily. I'm reminded. And then let's say in the event that my coverage lapses or I'm not in compliance, Alvys will not allow me to receive any more load assignments. So a lot of those issues that used to arise with safety and maintenance for trucks and trailers or whatever it is, those compliance issues I need to stay on top of, a lot of those things are managed much more effectively with Alvys because Alvys is not only storing necessary documents, but also sending alerts and monitoring due dates and things like that. Another common problem is that trucking companies can lose track of loads that are falling behind, that may be late or in trouble. Alvys monitors those things and sends automatic alerts for loads that may need special attention, loads that may be problematic. So While many TMSs or applications will report on the location of where a load is, where they often fall short is that they don't identify which particular loads are falling behind or may fall behind so that the dispatchers or managers pay more attention to those loads. So with Alvys, not only does our driver mobile app notify and update the location of the truck, and also has a special link for the customer to see where the truck and the load is. Alvys also calculates the ETA automatically and alerts you to loads where the truck is falling behind so that you can either update the customer immediately or take any necessary actions like changing the delivery time before it's too late. So with Alvys, you become a more reliable partner, right? You become a more reliable trucking company so that you can stay on top of issues before they arise. So another problem is that payments can be slowed down because you have to enter e-check information multiple different times. So for example, it was normal for us in our trucking company to enter an e-check information 2 to 3 times manually. We'd enter it once in our TMS, we'd enter it again in our accounting software, and finally we have to send the same information to our driver. But now with Alvys, we only have one touch point. So the driver instantly gets the e-check number, while the amount is automatically stored in Alvys, which means that it's also automatically stored in our accounting platform. So the process of issuing payments is just much quicker and easier. It can be a real pain to keep up with all the needed accessorial attachments to the load and to make sure that all the numbers line up and the justification needed is there. With Alvys, we have made this process more or less automatic. So customers are billed automatically. Everything is stored. All the documentation needed is automatically stored at the load level. So you always have the record keeping that you need. And drivers get paid automatically what they're supposed to get paid, and everything's accounted for. So yeah, what used to be pretty annoying is now smooth sailing with Alvys.